What's up, everybody? I'm Dear Gamer. Welcome back to the channel today. We're back and we're diving back some more Monster Hunter Wilds, and today I'm going to give you my tips that will make your gaming experience better for the beginner, intermediate, end game as well. It's all encompassing, and it's some of the things that after 100 hours, I was like, man, I wish I knew these things sooner. That would make my experience even better. So in fact, without further ado, let's dive in. First thing first I would want to do is I would encourage you to change your wheel. And the reason why I say that is because if you use the built-in AI version where it tells you to use the best option for healing or status buff, it works really well when you're trying to heal your statuses. But when you're trying to heal, what I found myself is if I had like 10% of my health back, I used a mega potion, I got 60%, so I'm at 70%. I want to top off. It would sometimes use the regular potion, and I was in a position where a lot of monsters were like one-shotting us. So that's why I switched from using the one that was recommended, this one that gives optimal healing, and it really doesn't. So what I would recommend is go in here and utilize your own custom wheel and put the things that make this most sense for you on there. So for me, what I have in here is I have my whetstone up top. I have my well done steak because we need those from time to time as we're hunting. I have my mega potion in there. I have my max potions, my no berries, antidote, my mantle I'm currently using, and I have my dust of life. That way when I'm playing multiplayer and people are getting into trouble, I can heal my party as well. So these are the things that I had in when I was playing World and Rise, and it worked very well. So I recommend doing something similar as well. It's always better to have a specific thing you're reaching for when you need it versus having like a bunch of options where you reach your hand on the table and right now I need a knife and then all of a sudden you grab a piece of paper. No, that's not what you need. Get specifically what you need is what I would recommend with your wheel. Next is a tip I would recommend. So in your items up here, what I would say is fix it to your liking, meaning get all the things that you're going to use in the battle. So I don't ever use potions. I don't recommend using potions. For optimal healing, you want to have your mega potion, your max potions, or your ancient potions. And to make it even better, what you want to do is you want to have the necessary items in your inventory bag that allows you to make the potions on the go, because you want to be able to heal optimally every single time. So if you're looking at this right now I use mega potions, I use max potions. So I have 10 mega potions and 2 max potions, right? Wrong. Actually, I have 20 mega potions. The reason I make that work is because when I craft, I use potion and I use honey in my inventory, keep them. That way it will automatically craft it for me. And I'll show you how to set that up as well. So it automatically crafts my mega potions, so I always have them on me. Next, it always automatically crafts my max potions as well, because I keep the necessary things in my inventory. You need this one and you need this one. So the goal is, now my next tip will be how you set up your farmer to get what you need to heal properly. But this is what I'll recommend you do to make sure that you can have as many potions as possible so you're not finding yourself in trouble at all. Next, I will say do your side quests. That's the next tip. Do all your side quests, because your side quests give you some really cool things that you need to make your gameplay experience even better. So you do a side quest, you see this icon right here. What these do, these are the people that gather the stuff for you, and this is unlocked for you. I believe you can do low rank. I think high rank you have to do. But essentially what you do is these guys can gather specific materials for you. So what I did is I have him set up to gather just these for me so I can make my max potions, and you can have up to 5. And what you want to do is have each specific one gather a different material so that you can always have your gear, max potions, whenever you need them. And the way the cycle works, it's a time cycle. So as the day cycles, in the world, it was quests. You had to do quests in order for these to start like populated. And wild is better because all you got to do is just hunt or just hang out and rest. I don't know if you can rest and do it, but as time goes by, they start to collect the materials that they said they're going to go after and get. So you don't have to necessarily be in a camp. You just kind of hang out, have some lunch real quick, leave the game going, and boom, you'll have some necessary equipment that you need. So I'll go ahead and take all of these. So now the next thing is I want to kind of go back to my main camp. And the cool thing is Nata over here will start being able to gather the materials for you, so you don't have to go camp to camp. For some reason, I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out, but yeah, just go over here. And all the stuff you do around the city, he'll be able to retrieve it for you. So if you look at this, 1, 2 of my 5 are already filled up. And if you notice, Why do I need this? I need this because I needed to make my max potions. I need this from max potions, and I need honey. So I need honey for my mega potions. You can buy potions, so I can guarantee I get my mega potions. And I need this one to make, and this one to make my ingredients for my max potion. So we'll go ahead and you can just do this. And there's multiple items you can pick based on your build and what you're currently doing. For me, this is the one that makes the most sense. So for you, whatever makes sense for you, you use that. But essentially what you'll do is just collect everything and you'll continue from there. And there's some, you get some materials in from this that allows you to make some different armor sets. Nothing crazy like it was in Rise. Like you can get like weakness X point early. But ultimately what I would do is just figure out whatever you're trying to make and have them find it for you.
Goodbye.
So if I were to go back to my tent and go back to my wheel, what I would do is go to a crafting list. So what I'm saying here is turn this on, meaning it will automatically craft it for me if I have the necessary ingredients in my inventory. So mega potion, I need potion and honey. And max potion, I need catalyst and that one, Maglodora. And next for this, that's why I need the bitter bug broth plus more honey. So now I have enough to always have max potions available to me. I can even do ancient potions, but these take a little bit more. So I just go ahead and use max potions, and that's a little easier to come by. So those are how I would set it up if I were you, to have the optimal healing, because you don't have time to be chugging potions or to be swapping through your list. You want to be able to access your goodies immediately. The next one's a gameplay tip. I found that changing your focus strike sensitivity made it better for me to kind of zip around while I was doing focus strike. For some reason it wasn't really zipping that well for me. So you go over here to options, you go to focus strike, or is it? So by default this is at a 6, right? So this is how the focus strike works. I don't know, it's kind of sluggish to get around. So what I would do if I were you, what worked for me, is I increase mine up to 9, and now it makes it a little easier to kind of like zip around. So when you're doing your strikes on your monster, you can zip it a little easier. So I think 9 is a good speed to be at. That gives you a little more flexibility and just feels a little bit more natural. Say you got everything exactly the way you want it. What I would recommend doing is managing your loadouts and save the loadout. That way when you go into battle, you have exactly what you want when you're out in the wild. So I got mine saved as yup, because I look at it, look at my stuff, and I say yup, exactly what I need. So use that loadout, and every single thing I need is always available. My capture, my barrels, my heals, everything we need, power charms. Do your quest, because that's how you get these 2 power charms. You get increase your overall damage, your defense, overall damage just by keeping them in your inventory. I don't think we can make the other ones. Has someone found it yet? I don't think you can make the other ones yet. Might be a master right thing, but ultimately you can see I have everything I need. So to save your loadouts, that way it saves you time as well. Another cool thing they added is layered armor is available from the very beginning of the game. All you need to do is once you get the high rank, you go to over here, equipment, and you just, every time you make a piece of armor, you automatically get it as a layered armor. So just make the armor one time, even if you're not gonna use it, doesn't matter. Just make it one time, and it'll be available for you to use in your inventory to dress your character up with some juicy outfits. So investigations are pretty easy to figure out. So all you do is you can go to the overall world map or find a monster and say, this monster gives me a level 1, level 2 decoration, and it gives me something I'm looking for. Click on the monster, click it again. You can begin the survey to start it as a quest, set a waypoint, or save it as an investigation. Saving an investigation takes up your research point. It tells you it takes 100. I got 24,000 right now, so I'm good. After you save your investigation, you can do it up to 3 times right now with Oma. And that's what I did to kind of save me some juicy things I need for monsters that have me give me good materials for making some gear, or I find a quest with a lot of decorations dropped from it. So when I start doing single or multiplayer hunts with you guys, I have all the juicy stuff available. So that's how investigations work. So you might be looking for a specific lizard when you're trying to do a side quest. That's what takes my next thing, rest. So some life is only available at night or in the morning. What you can do is you can go over here, you can go to rest, and whatever time zone you want, you can change it to plenty, whatever environment you want. And you can change this to evening, to night, which is amazing. We couldn't do that in the world. And then you'll be able to find that specific item, plant, or lizard that you're looking for, what that might only spawn in the morning or might only spawn at night. This one's kind of a given as well. Since we're on the topic of camera distance, I would recommend you guys put your camera distance to zoom because you can see a lot better. Zoom it all the way out to 10 so that you can see more of yourself in the monster, which will actually kind of save you in battle versus like sometimes you can't get hit. Also too, you can change you can also change your silhouette to whatever you like. I like mine as red, kind of stands out a little bit more to me. So if a monster is blocking you, you'll be able to see your counter through the monster. Next would be a very useful one. This is for your weapon attack power, which I highly recommend. Display without coefficient. It makes it easier to tell the difference between two weapons, different types, or same type weapon, without the bloat that is included in the weapon. Sometimes you see a great sword is like 900 power and the long sword is like 500 power. You're like, oh my god, I must use a great sword because great sword is way more powerful. No, that's not always the case. What it will do is it will make your numbers seem a little more normal. If I would look at these weapons I want to build, it says, say for example, rarity 3, 140 attack, right? 160 attack, 140 attack, 170. And then I were to switch to greatsword.
What are we making
Rarity
today?
4, same thing. Boom, you see the numbers are the same now. So relatively, you can compare weapon strength even across different weapon types. So keep that off. I know the numbers don't look as big and juicy, but it's okay. We get real numbers this time. So next, I'll say monster guides is important. If you go, there's two ways to access. You access it from your inventory, or you can go on the map, click on the monster, and hit R2 twice, and then go to the last tab, and it'll tell you all kinds of details about the monster. It'll tell you what's low lore about it, how it works. It'll tell you a special attack, so you know. Temporarily slows down stamina, so you can get information there. It'll tell you the weak spots. So the mouth is a weak spot. You can cut the tail, and the head is breakable as well. So if you're fighting this monster, you want to focus on the head for weak spots. If you're using a slashing weapon, you want to use something that will cut the tail. So it tells you right there at the bottom what weapons are really proficient against it. So for the tail, you want a slashing weapon, which is going to be like longsword, great sword, sword and shield. Dual blades, those weapons can cut very good. It tells you from 0 stars to 4 stars how proficient it is. Then if you look at the next one, hammer, is going to be very effective at breaking the head and hitting the damage. You're not going to be able to cut the tail off, but you're going to be able to get some good damage by using hammer on a blunt weapon, not hammer, a blunt weapon on that head part. Next, it tells you elemental as well. So if I use a fire weapon, okay, fire is 1 star. It won't do crazy damage, but it'll do okay. I wouldn't want to use a water weapon on this monster because it doesn't do any damage on it. So if I have a weapon that does water damage, and say it does 100 raw physical damage and it does 20 water damage, I will just miss out on that 20 water and it will do nothing, and I'll just be hitting through with the raw. So even if you have an elemental weapon, it still has some raw on it as well. But ultimately, you're not going to want to fight this monster with the water. I will use lightning, and every other element is okay, but looks like white lightning is really good on the head, and the head is a weak spot, so you're going to do some really good damage in the head and neck with this specific monster and that specific type of weapon. So what you can do is kind of go through here, and it tells you what effects are effective against it. Poison's really good against it. Paralysis is really great against it, and what items are effective against it as well. So what you can kind of like understand how you're going to fight the monster and really strategize if you need to really take it down. And it kind of tells you afterwards the rewards you'll get. If you hit triangle, you get low rank, high rank, what rewards you can get. So in case you're looking for a specific item or material for a specific weapon or gear, boom, go in here and you're good to go. What I would recommend for people, the same thing I did in World and Rise, is you want to put a paralysis weapon or sleep weapon on Mr. Whiskers. So right now I have paralysis, so I can get some paralysis on him, and I tend to get like maybe at least 1 paralysis per hunt with having Mr. Whiskers having this weapon. As we get higher into the game, we start getting some weapons that have even more paralysis. That's what I want to focus on putting it on him, so I can get more paralysis through the hunt or some more sleep. I will recommend using those two. You can use loadouts from Mr. Whiskers or loadouts for your character. Just go to your inventory, equipment, and push the L3 button in and register it. So based on whatever you're fighting, if you want to do a set for farming, you want to do a set for, when I say set for farming, meaning that, I'll show you real quick, which is the next step, farming set. Say I'm looking at farms for a specific plant or something, right? I'll get a gear that has some relatively decent skills on it for picking up ingredients. Then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and after that, I'll put decorations on it like this that give me extra herbs. So what I'll do is I'll get a set, stack it with these decorations till I have maximum level, save it as a loadout, and boom, now when I'm just farming, I'm not fighting no monsters, I just run around and gathering materials, I can get more, which makes it more efficient for my playtime. Which takes me to my next point. As you're playing through the story, you're gonna find little mining points, plants. Make sure you're picking up everything. Pick up everything, because that's how you're gonna need them for your gear, need them for your equipment, need them for your health. Always, always, always pick up everything you see and stop, because at some point you're going to need it. And when you go from low rank to high rank, the materials change. So make sure you're picking your materials for mining and your bones all over again. So food buffs are pretty powerful. They were always been powerful, really strong. So what I recommend is first, make your custom meal. I always like using the one that gives me attack up. You can see what kind of buffs you're gonna get with it. I like to attack up. Then here, pick the one that makes the most sense for your playstyle, what you got going on. This one repeatedly activates a large temporary type boost at random intervals. Why wouldn't I want that? You know, that makes so much sense. So I can put that one on there. Cool. My finishing touch, this one's really cool over here. Increases the potency of abnormal status attacks. So when I'm using my paralysis or my poison, I guess even stronger. It doesn't say how much, but some is better than none. So if I want to fight against a strong monster, this could be a loadout I saved for myself to use when I need to have like all as much additional juice or power as possible. So there's a lot of options in here. Increase the amount of healing when health when recovering from healing. There's a lot of things you can find out in here that works out for you. It just depends on your playstyle. So I would just recommend going through here, reading through all of these and figuring out what you want to do, and save it so that you have it when you're going into a hunt. For the last tip, for goodness sakes, upgrade your armor. Sometimes people don't know you can upgrade your armor. You have all your spears, and it makes a difference when you're getting one shot or two shot, or just there's no point in taking more damage. So upgrade your armor. You have all these skills available to you. There's different ways you can farm them, and then that's before another video. But ultimately, you want to make sure you're having as much defense as possible so you can do some juicy damage. Also some other skills I will just mention it here. If you're looking for a comfy defensive skill to put on your set, don't use a defense skill. Just use like Divine Blessing. It's cheaper, and it could do more for you than having like 5 levels of defense on your character. So that's what I recommend for those that are struggling with like defense. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Till next time, dear gamers, signing out.